You said today, and I know that you have a lot of power, but I can't imagine you manufactured the breaking news about the court. You said this court is not normal. What did you mean?
What I meant with that is it's done more to unravel basic rights and basic decisions than any court in recent history. And that's what I meant by not normal. It's gone out of its way to, I mean, for example, take a look at overruling Roe v. Wade. Take a look at what the decision today. Take a look at how it's ruled on a number of issues that have been precedent for 50, 60 years sometimes. And that's what I meant by not normal.
Can I read you some of your appointees'
Yes.
dissent? Because I think it'll be in the history books along with this decision. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson said in part, quote, "With let them eat cake obliviousness today, the majority pulls the ripcord and announces color blindness for all by legal fiat. But deeming race irrelevant in law does not make it so in life." It's so simple, but
Right.
so right. How did the six get it so wrong?
Well, look, remember the Federalist Society when you were in another administration?
In another party, yes.
Well, I didn't mean it that way.
It's okay.
But the Federalist Society had a very, very strict construction of the Constitution. Yeah. And if it didn't, they used the word, it didn't exist. But this administration, this court has gone beyond that. And I just find it, I don't know how to express it, find it just so out of sorts with the basic value system of the American people. And I think that across the board, the vast majority of the American people don't agree with a lot of the decisions this court is making.
I mean, I think some of your former Senate colleagues on the Judiciary Committee would go as far as to say that it's anti-democratic. Do you agree with that?
Well, if I say it's anti-democratic, then it gets
in a lot of trouble.
No, but it is. Its value system is different, and its respect for institutions is different, and in that sense, it is not as embracing of all. What I think the Constitution says, we hold these truths we sell, that all men and women are created equal, endowed by their Creator. It's the uniqueness of America. We never fully lived up to it. We never walked away from it. And this court seems to say that, no, that's not always the case. The idea there's no right of privacy in the Constitution, giving states power that we fought a war over in 1860. I just think it's... This is not your father's Republican Party.
Well, and to that point, Roe and Casey are decided with justices appointed by Democrats and Republicans.
Yes.
And these opinions that land outside the range of public opinion in our country are super conservative majority decisions. They're 6-3 on Dobbs. They're 6-3 on affirmative action. Does it require, does your love and reverence for our institutions make you do a hard thing and look at shaking up the institutions? Will you look at court reform again?
Well, I did look at here's two things. Before I got elected, while I put together a group of constitutional scholars to try to expand the court, which I think is a mistake after all, the judgment was that didn't make sense because it can become so politicized in the future. But so what I've done is in my appointments, I've appointed 136 judges and found ourselves in a situation where I've picked people who are from various backgrounds. We've appointed more women to the appellate courts, black women to the appellate courts than every other president in American history. Not just Ketanji Brown, but more than any across the board. We've also, I wanted to make sure that we had on the court, and Republicans have been appointed to the court by us as well. On the court, want to have public defenders, people who have been on the other side of the equation, so that everyone is represented. There's a point of view to be able to be made, but I have no hard test to say you must have this view. I never ask a nominee what's their position on A, B, C, or D.
No litmus test.
No litmus test.
Do you worry that without court reform, this conservative majority is too young and too conservative, that they might do too much harm?
Well, I think they may do too much harm. But I think if we start the process of trying to expand the court, we're going to politicize it maybe forever in a way that is not healthy,
That you can't get back.
that it can't get back. And I think, look, I think maybe it's just the optimist in me. I think that some of the court are beginning to realize their legitimacy is being questioned in ways that hadn't been questioned in the past. And I think there's a concern on some, maybe even the Chief Justice, that maybe we better.
Well, in the independent legislature's decision, it looks like maybe Roberts had that in mind.
I don't know.
I don't either, but you could.
That's what
The optimist could hope so,
The
right?
optimist hopes that.
Let me ask you about an institution that we spend a lot of time covering here, and that's the Justice Department. The Washington Post recently reported that it took the Justice Department seeing Cassidy Hutchinson's public testimony, which was a year ago yesterday, to really focus on Trump and his innermost circle's role in the January 6th coup plot. You've awarded medals to Harry Dunn and Officer Fanone and the others. Do they deserve to know why it took the Justice Department a year to open an investigation into the person that incited the insurrection?
Look, I made a commitment that I would not in any way interfere with the Justice Department, who they prosecuted, if they prosecuted, how they proceeded. I've not spoken once, not one single time with the Attorney General on any specific case, not once. But I do talk to him about law enforcement and all those other things. But the point is that I just think there's what I mean about interfering in institutions. The last administration tried to direct the court, tried to push the court. I mean, whether it was the Fed or the court or institutions that are supposed to stay hands off. Mm-hmm. So I've never engaged in that. It's not my role to do that.
But when you talk about strengthening democracies at home and abroad, do other Democratic leaders want to know why the foot soldiers of the insurrection have been charged and prosecuted, but not the leader?
Well, the answer is yes. But here's my answer. I have faith the Justice Department will move in a direction that is consistent with the law. And so it may take time, but I have faith that they're going to do the right. But I've not spoken about it, and I don't think I should.